Okay.
Said next 2 days we're getting.
Okay, sounds
We
good.
need one meeting water.
Okay. Thank you. Peter. It's so loud. Okay, I think
Recording in progress.
we're ready to begin. This is a summer scheduled meeting of the Public Facilities Meeting. And to begin with, I want to thank everybody that accommodated their summer schedule to be here. Thank you. Thank you very much, because now we have quorum, so we can get through as quickly as we can this agenda. Okay? All right, so the first item up, I'm just going to read them into the record one by one. The first three are reappointments of the committee members of the Design Review Committee through the City Council President. The first one is docket item number, oh, sorry, at the beginning of the meeting, I want to introduce everybody, right?
Yeah.
So here at the table, we have from Ward 1, Allison Leary, and then me, Raina Getz from Ward 5, and then online we have Lisa Gordon from Ward 6, and from Ward 4, Cyrus Amabed. And I think that's it for counselors. For city staff, we have in the room, we have Molly Hutchins, I'm sorry, I've got your, no, Molly, you are, I know you are.
Community Preservation.
Yes,
Program
you
Manager.
are, it was all on my thing, you literally are the director of the CPC, right? The
Program Manager.
program manager. And then we have online, we have, I'm looking and I'm seeing Laura Kreitzer, our director of the DHCD, right? And then we have Steve Curley, our comptroller. He's, sorry, I had this all, he's our treasurer or our comptroller, but he's also, there's something else in his title. And then I think that's it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then our clerk, Curtis. Yes, okay, so the first item is item number 253-26, the reappointment of David Gillespie to the Design Review Committee. It's a reappointment. I'm just gonna read these three because I think we could all, these are reappointments. Although I see Peter here, so why don't we do that? Why don't we do them one by one? So that then if there's any comments that need to be made on each of them, we can go through that. So for the first one, are there any committee questions? The reappointment?
No.
Okay, okay. All right, so I think for the first one, do you want to just pick a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of David Gillespie to the Design Review Committee.
Okay, all those in favor, do you want to raise your hands or indicate in some way?
Aye.
Aye. All those.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Cyrus. All those opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so the second one is 254-26, the reappointment of Peter Burr to the Design Review Committee. And Peter, I see that you're here. Thank you for attending. Okay, so let's open it up. So if there are any questions or any comments, now's the time. Okay.
I think Mr. Barrow is an excellent candidate, and I'd love to see him reappointed to the Design Review Committee, and I'm willing to make the motion when ready.
Okay, all right. Councilor Gordon, did you have a comment?
I just would like to thank Peter for coming and attending the meeting. I think it's really important when people are up for appointments that they come to the meeting. So thank you very much.
That's great. Okay, any other thoughts or comments? Okay, so would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to for the reappointment of Peter Barr to the Design Review Committee.
All those in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all those, any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so for the third reappointment, it's for Carol Schnein to the Design Review Committee. The item number is 255-26. And any thoughts or questions on this one?
Well, Carol's been a long time
Okay,
person, and she's been doing a great job. I see this as in Ward 6, so.
Correct. So Counselor Gordon, did you wanna move the item?
Sure, this will be the first time, so I make a motion to appoint Carol Shine again to the Design Review Committee. Thank you, Chair Getz.
No, thank you. Okay, so all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Right, any oppositions? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, so that's the third one. Now, a new member is item number 256-26, the appointment of Stacy Roman to the Design Review Committee. So that's you. Do you want to join the table or you? Okay. Okay, you are from Ward 4.
I am.
Okay. Okay, so any thoughts, comments on this appointment? Okay, Lisa, Counselor Gordon, did you have any thoughts?
Thank you, Chair Getz. I'm sorry for not saying that earlier. As I just did with Peter, I just want to thank you, Stacy, for coming to the meeting and for being willing to serve for the city. So just thank you so much for your time.
So generally with a new appointment, we might ask Stacy to just say a few words.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
I've been a member of the design selection committee for about 3 years. I'm a general contractor here in Newton. I work for Chapman Construction. I've been a general contractor for 25 years and very excited to be a part of the design review.
Thank you.
Well, absolutely, thank you for stepping up and joining. And I also appreciate your background, you know, in terms of the construction, because I think that would be incredibly fun. Thank you. Okay, Cyrus of Counselor Donovan.
Thank you, Chair Getz. I just wanted to say thank you to you, Ms. Roman, also as a Ward 4 person. Very happy to see more Ward 4 representation. It's always wonderful. But thank you to you. Your resume, you know, you've worked at the best contractors in the region, and it's really impressive. And I know as someone who's come from the architecture and design world, being a woman in the GC world is like really not always easy and really admirable. And I think it's just awesome that we're going to have a woman who represents the contracting world in the design review committee. So thank you for all you've done and your willingness to participate and be part of our public service.
Thank you. Okay, would you like to move the item?
Yes, and I was going to say, and I'm happy to make a motion to approve Stacy Roman, to appoint Stacy Roman to the design review committee.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor, either raise your hand. or say Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any negatives, and then any abstentions? Okay, all right, so that's it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, sorry.
Sorry, I was jumping on. I was on YouTube and then I jumped onto this. Stacy, just thank you very much. We really appreciate all of your work over the years, and we really look forward to bringing you on to another team as we embark upon several exciting projects. So thank you very much. And thank you to all of the other members that were just reappointed too. We have an incredible team on Design Review Committee and our Designer Selection Committee.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, thank you. So you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
absolutely, yes, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so our next item is the petitioner has requested to withdraw the following petition without prejudice for item number 123-26. It's the request for relocation of a drain easement in Rose Street. Okay, and everybody read the letter, saw the letter that was in the packet? Okay, wonderful. So is there any thoughts or discussion on this one? Okay, so it's your ward, Councilor Donovan. Do you want to move the item?
Is this a motion to hold? I don't know what happens when we have it
No,
withdrawn.
it's to, to approve the request to withdraw.
Understood. Okay, then I make a
Oh,
motion to
yes,
approve the
yes.
request to withdraw item number 25126.
Oh, and I'm sorry, we also have a public hearing that we need to open. So, yeah.
That's the wrong number.
Thank you, Councilor Gordon. I just realized that. I meant to say I make a motion to approve to withdraw item number 123-26.
But
Thank
before
you.
we do that, we need to, it's closing the public hearing, right?
Yeah, technically, it's open right now, so
Right.
if
Right.
anyone wants.
So, yes, so is there anybody that'd like to speak to this item? Okay, so if hearing no one, okay, Counselor Domovan, we have to make a motion to close the public hearing first. Okay, so that's the first item, and then the second is what you just stated.
All right, so I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all those against? And any abstentions? Okay, so that's it, and so your second motion,
And now I'll make a motion to approve the withdrawal of item number 123-26.
okay. Those all in favor would raise their hand, okay? Any negatives, any nays? Okay, and any abstentions? Okay, so the next item is the National Grid item. So would you like to join us at the table? Okay, so let me read this into the record. It's item number 251-26. It's the National Grid petition for a branded location on Commonwealth Avenue at Washington Street. Okay. So, and Mary Mulroney has just joined us at the table, and is there anything that you would like to say or?
We just respectfully request a granted location to install a new prefabricated regulator station with all the equipment contained within a single concrete wall on Commonwealth Ave at Washington Street. It's replacing an existing regulator station. Probably maybe 10 feet away from it. It's the reason we're installing it is for reliability and safety.
Okay. Okay, all right, and that's pretty much everything I want to say.
That's it.
Okay, great. All right, so it was in the packet. Okay, let me take, Mr. Barr, I'll take committee thoughts and, do you have any thoughts?
Yes, I
Okay.
was just wondering, if there are any other reasons why they're installing, this equipment? And is it more efficient? Is it, you're saying it's for safety, but.
Inefficient, like efficiency,
More
safety,
efficiency.
yes, and that's the only reason. The other one is old.
How old is the other one?
I don't know the exact date, but it's probably 35 years old. It's old.
And is this equipment, do you look at it in context of, this is the whole infrastructure of the pipes around it and, in terms of their condition and whether they're gonna be replaced or repaired, or is there, how do you?
This is to replace, so this is like, if you'd say the main feeder coming in.
Yeah.
For pressurization and everything else in the town, one of them, I mean, it's so big. And this one just needs to be replaced.
No, I understand that, but I was asking in terms of,
Outside, no, this is not related to any leaks, mains, or anything on the outside, this is just the regulator station itself.
but
contained
it
in-
regulates the amount of pressure on each thing on all the gas pipes. Does it not do that?
Yes, it does.
So it goes, so it has,
So it's
It
gonna,
is-
the same pressure will go to the existing, it's just the vault is new. So you have new equipment that's tracking and monitoring what's in the system. So it's.
what I'm saying is if this thing is 40 years old and, have some of those pipes been replaced or changed, or is there any, how do you kind of look at it holistically in terms of
The engineers look at it and they pick the ones that need to be replaced. Throughout the whole system, like Newton's not the only city or town. It's from everywhere.
Yeah, no, I understand, if there's always just a fine line between the repair and the huge cost of the gas infrastructure that we're building. Particularly as it's part of the GSEP program, and it's a $40 billion infrastructure project that's turned out to be more than that big dig. And this is equipment infrastructure that we're not expecting to use in 25 years. So that's all going on the backs of ratepayers. Will ratepayers pay for this too?
I'm really not sure.
It's just that since we don't really know, we don't really know much about our own gas system here in Newton because we're not privy to that, so it's hard for us to make decisions on something like this. Yes, we trust your engineers, but I just like to have a broader approach, so. I'll end there, and I'd like to hear from other people and people who perhaps open the public hearing.
Okay, all right, that's the first step. I need to open the public hearing, so, let's do that. Do we need to vote on that? No, I don't think so, right? Okay, so let's just open the public hearing. But let's hear from counselors first. Counselor Dumoulin, do you have any thoughts?
Yes, thank you, Chair Getz. I have a couple of thoughts, and I guess kind of some of them kind of mirror the questions that Councilor Leary shared. One of them has to do with just the documentation on this. I understand that it's not super common to be provided with any kinds of drawings or those kinds of things for utilities, but it would be really helpful just to understand. So this is a big and complicated intersection, and just kind of understand exactly where this thing is in that intersection, so that we can understand where exactly will this construction be, that kind of thing.
Okay, Counselor Dumoulin, it was all on the portal. There was like a series of 6 documents, this backup.
This is in the grass
Correct.
section.
Yep.
That's
West,
one regulator station
Yep.
is here, Vault is just moving
right,
to put a new one in.
Yep.
To service the
Yep.
whole community for safety
yeah, so.
and reliability.
Yeah, there's one specific drawing, I wish I could share my screen, that I'm looking at.
Thank you, Councilor Getz. I forgot that it's in the portal and not in the backup. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, if to describe it, it's literally in the island on Common Ave, diagonal from the fire station. So if you were at the fire station and looking across the intersection, that island is where they're located. So there's, it was in the portal, so that, just so that you know where it is. Okay,
That's great. And I guess the kind of follow-up to that is, and again, maybe this is in the portal, so I'm sorry if I'm asking a redundant question, but the way that this kind of works as a construction project, does this mean that there's basically an existing concrete vault and then equipment is removed from it and then replaced into it? Or does it mean that a new concrete vault gets constructed adjacent or nearby?
No, the old vault will be abandoned, everything will be removed from it, and the new vault will be monitored with the gas going through it.
Okay, that's, and is the concrete that's in the ground now, is that removed and then it is refilled with soil, or?
I don't believe the actual vault is removed, but the internal mechanisms are all removed.
Okay, and is there any, obviously during construction, there's above ground repercussions sort of, but is there any long-term changes to what's above ground, a head house, a vault, or a transformer, or anything that moves or changes related to above ground?
No, it would be just probably replacing what is existing, and this project does not take a long time.
That's great. Awesome. Thanks for those clarifications.
okay, so my questions were just in terms of looking through, Mr. Daglian's, comments on it. Is there any timeline on this? Is it coming soon? Is it gonna be the kind
Well,
It's-
if we got the grant
Mhm.
approved, if
yes, yep,
me and I was
Yep.
making a suggestion, I would probably try to do it maybe before school got in,
Okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
If the sooner the better.
yeah, I'm not sure that that's gonna happen.
Schools in like 2 weeks.
This project does not take,
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that it has to get approved by the full council.
oh,
And so
okay.
we're not meeting as a council until.
September.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, so it's gonna be in the
Yeah.
fall. But the other question I had was, because it seemed as if it was pretty extensive, just in terms of notification, and then there seems to be also an M8 permit required. So there seemed to be a lot of, both engagement with DPW and with the community around this project, which seemed really good, a requirement
Yeah.
of the process. But my other thought was, is this the one and only site, or are there others that are going to be identified throughout the city? I'd like that.
For now, this is the only one that I have for
Okay.
Newton.
Okay,
I think we had one a few years ago, and I think it might have been in your district. Over by the Mass Pike.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
well,
had-
over the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had one there. And I don't really recall
Okay.
too many of them.
okay. All right, okay. All right, so now, Mr. Barr? Does he have, can he speak?
Yeah,
Okay,
he should.
great. Okay,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
yes,
Great. 2 points. One is, when you leave a concrete vault in the ground and you're no longer responsible for it, and the city wants to come by later and use that place to plant a tree or build something or dig up the road, you've given a liability to the city by leaving the concrete in the ground. And I would, ask you to consider restoring the ground to what it was, originally. That's number one. And the second is, I'm not going to give a speech about climate change, but it's a big waste of money to continue to invest in a gas system that's going to need to be abandoned over time. And I understand there are safety, there's a safety reason for this, but it's a darn shame. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Barr. Okay, so any other comments? Okay,
I just want to explain my vote. I will not be voting for this.
okay,
But I want it, the reason is that until the city of Newton is able to collaborate and work with the utility on a gas system and have a way of looking at transitioning off methane gas, I will not be voting for any gas infrastructure projects.
okay,
And that's, I've been consistent. on it.
yep. Okay, Counselor Gordon?
Thank you, Chair Getz. I'm just, what Peter just said. So I thought you were just replacing in the same place. So you're abandoning something and it's a pit, and it says you'll conform to all federal, state laws and DPU regulations, and that means you can just leave a concrete pit there?
The concrete pit is underground, so it would be backfilled.
What is it backfilled with?
I assume dirt, gravel, whatever.
Okay,
Can't you just remove it?
I have that noted. Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that'd actually be
Yeah.
nice.
I'm
to make
making it
it.
in my notes that it would
Okay.
make them.
Thank you, thank you. All right,
Make everybody happy.
Yes.
No, we
Yes.
know.
yes.
But we're
okay,
doing the best we can.
Yeah, yeah.
We want no accidents.
Right.
Okay.
It's not pretty.
Found that out.
Okay.
didn't you?
Okay,
Yep.
so it's your ward, Counselor Donovan. Do you want to first close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing on item number, and let me get it right this time. Is it 230, 251, 26?
Okay. Okay, all those in favor? We don't have to do that, right? Do we? Or to close the public hearing, we just close it?
Yeah.
Vote to close it? Okay,
Yeah.
so all those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Just close it.
Okay, all right, okay, we're all closing. All right, and then for the actual item itself.
Sure. Motion to approve item number 251-26.
Okay, all right, so those in favor? Okay, all right, and those against? Okay, and those abstaining? Okay, so that's the outcome. All right,
What's the outcome?
2 in favor, 1 against, and 1 abstaining.
So is it approved?
It's approved for now, and then it goes to the full city council.
Okay. That's good.
Yes. And that meeting, you were saying, it's the 8th?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, day after
Okay.
Labor Day.
Yeah, I'd have to look at my phone, but I'm pretty sure he's correct. Okay, yes.
Thank
it's the
you so much for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
everybody,
you.
for coming during the summer.
Okay,
No. No.
No.
We have everybody.
Yeah.
This is just.
yeah. So much fun, right?
Well, no, it's, I understand your point totally. I also Get one, so. You know, like, so that's.
It'll get approved.
Okay,
All right, thank you so
thank
much.
you. All right, so now you care to join us at the table?
Oh,
Okay,
well.
okay. All right, so the next item is item number 250. Thank you. Dash 26, the CPC recommendation to appropriate $1,900,000 for a grant to the Newton Affordable Housing Trust. Okay, and at the table, we have the CPA program manager, Amanda Hutchins. Okay, and then is Laura on? Was she?
Yeah, Laura is here.
Okay, and then, okay, I don't, is she up there?
Yeah. Laura, and then who's tomorrow?
Yes, okay, okay, all right, all right, and then so the director, I'm just gonna say it again, the director of Housing and Community Development, Laura Preitzer. And then in Houston, the chair of the Affordable Housing Trust, and the co-chair is in the room, Peter Sargent. And I think that's it for Affordable Housing. Are there any other, Chair of Houston, are there any other members of the Affordable Housing Trust?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. All right, so Molly, did you wanna say anything?
Yeah, I'm going to present. I think I just got kicked out of the meeting, so I'm gonna try joining again. Sorry. I was all ready to pull my PowerPoint up and I think I bumped myself. There we go. I should be back in. Great, everyone can see that? All right, we're here to talk about funding for the Newton Affordable Housing Trust. Just some quick background, City Council established the Newton Affordable Housing Trust in December of 21. And it began meeting in June 22, so this is, I think, the 5th round of funding, 4 years of funding. The trustees have developed a program guidelines and an application process that are accepting fund applications. The CPC agreed to allocate its annual target for community housing funds to the trust for use in future projects. So that's what we're doing here today. The target amount for community housing for the CPC is 35% of our annual fund, or annual revenue rather, are allocated for future projects which acquire, support, create, support, preserve, and restore or rehabilitate affordable housing in Newton. Laura and Ann and Peter here can all tell you more about some of the great projects that they've been able to fund that help those goals. I am particularly fond of their recent accomplishments at Newton Gardens. But just a quick note on the money. It is coming from the unrestricted prior year reserves for the most part, and also from the community housing reserve account. Every year we allocate 10% of our revenue into a reserve account, which is then every year emptied and attributed to the housing trust. And the balance of that 35% is coming from the unrestricted prior year reserves. Here are the balances of those accounts. As of today, you might notice that these are a little higher, particularly the unrestricted prior year reserves are a little higher than what I presented recently for other projects. I reached out to Steve Curley last week to make sure that we were all set for our FY27 sort of transition, and he got me some up-to-date account balances. So these are the balances as of today, pulled from the system. And I have a before and after here, so you know what approving this request will, how that will change the balances. We also have an additional 2.25 million in unrestricted funds in the current year account. We have prior year and current year, so there will be a total, should this request be approved, the total of unrestricted funds that we have at our disposal is about 6.9 million. But these are the accounts listed on this request. And that's what I have. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
And like I said, Anne and Peter and Laura can tell you more about the projects that we've been working on.
Okay, any questions? Yep, not right. Okay, and any council questions? Not seeing any. Okay. All right, thank you for the presentation. And we've talked, back and forth, so I'm feeling pretty confident in terms of, the questions that I had. So thank you for those answers. And the only piece was that this was just a little ahead of schedule, in terms of just it's a month earlier than we normally see. So it just sort of, and the other piece of it was just that it's coming to us, when it normally comes through zoning and planning.
I
So-
think we treated it as a public project this year, though it would normally go to ZAP, so that was a little confusing. But given the amount of public facilities requests that, if you think you've seen a lot of these so far, you're gonna see even more coming up. Given the amount of CPA projects that are gonna be coming through public facilities, I think maybe it's good to keep public facilities involved in
Yeah.
big CPA spending
Yeah.
as we have all these choices to make.
Yeah, and then in our conversation, I understood that it's also going to go to finance.
Yes, it will go
So-
to finance.
Yeah,
next.
so then this will go through then in our next city council. When is finance meeting again? That's the other question. Okay, so it may not even go through the first go round, it may even be the second city council meeting. Okay, Chair Houston, is there anything you would like to say?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions. We would really appreciate your support. We've got some great projects that are waiting for funding awards, so.
Mind hearing a little bit about the project and that you're planning on funding this year.
Well, you can't until the trust has voted. But I can't say that we're planning on funding them, but we are reviewing and actually have a meeting tomorrow night to review two new 100% affordable projects, one on Walnut Street in Newton Highlands and a 32 unit, right across the street from O'Hare's, the gas station
Yeah.
is gonna be turned into new all affordable housing, and a nice and exciting project. And then the second project is in West Newton, at the site of the former Santander Bank building. So I think they're both really, really strong projects. They provide a range of housing, but with a focus on family housing, which we're really trying to prioritize as missing in the city, and some deep affordability. They both have a range of affordable levels, and they're both with very, very strong developers who provide not just great housing, but they also emphasize good resident services. So it's the sort of project we've been looking for in Newton.
Thank
Peter,
you. Okay, Director Kreitzer, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I mean, this is much needed funding for the program, and as Anne said, we've got some really interesting projects. And the funding is much appreciated.
Okay, thank you. And then you made the games. Oh,
We really appreciate the CPC's continued support. And I think it just speaks really over the last several years to the thoughtful, careful planning that Newton accomplished through the whole VCOD process. that is really making Newton the kind of a market where some of the premier developers are looking at it as a desirable market to come in and provide really high level affordable housing. I mean, we've got some of the best names in the business who are now coming to us looking for funding.
Okay, so we now have hands. Wonderful. Okay, I didn't see who was up first. Let me just go with you, Councilor Gordon, only because I would like, well, we'll see. Okay,
I just want to say I'm very excited about the Newton Highlands project, and I'm really happy to hear you'll be discussing that. I think you said tomorrow. They have really done a wonderful job of reaching out to the community and working with the Ward 6 councilors, and I just want to say I think it's very exciting, and I'm very pleased that we're going to be part of funding that. So, thank you.
okay, and Councilor Nomelman?
Yes, thank you, Chair Getz. Ms. Houston, I was wondering, could you tell us a little bit about, I genuinely don't know, does getting funding in this format make it possible to get any kind of additional matching funds or any other, does it have any other advantages because it comes this way, I guess?
Well, city, one of the things that we have really been focusing on at the trust is trying to invest in projects that can really leverage state and local funds. And we're just a small piece of the funding package for each of these projects. We're coming in at about $50,000 a unit for projects that require subsidies in the, $600,000 level. So that tells you how much other funding is going in. But the real trick is you can't get state and local funds if you don't have city, if you don't have a city investment. The state's really very clear that they need to see that the city is invested as well. So this is both critical funding, but also really well leveraged. And both projects, we appreciate that you're seeing this early. This will not be all of the public funding that's needed for either project. We don't have enough right now. But we're gonna invest everything we have and ask the projects to come back to us after this funding is awarded, and then they may have to come back one more time to be able to get to the level of subsidy they need. But this will allow them to get into the current funding round, and that's a really critical thing. So that's part of why it's important to do this early. I'm not sure if that answered your question, but
It absolutely did. Thank you. I think that was just like very helpful to understand. It's nice to know, that there's kind of quite literally more bang for our buck as a result of funding that comes in this format. So I think that's wonderful. And I just would echo Councillor Gordon's comments. It's great to see affordable housing being funded in the city and great to see it being created in these locations. And I'm always on the lookout for ways that we can help make that affordable housing even more affordable. So thanks for your work and thanks for that explanation.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, so all in favor, raise your hand or, okay?
Aye.
Aye. Any negative, any noes, nays, and any abstentions? Okay, so thank you, Molly. Thank you.
thank you so much.
That's the key. Thank you. Okay, so our last item is item number 264-26, the authorization to transfer $623,130.15 in excess debt exclusion bond proceeds. And joining us are the manager of financial services, Doug Botello. Oh, he's not here. Okay. Our comptroller, Steve Curley. And is Ron Mendez here? Okay. And then our COO, Josh Morse. Okay. So, anyone speaking to this?
I can help kick things off. First, I just want to thank Steve Curley for coming out tonight. Comptroller doesn't normally come to a public facilities meeting, but I want to make sure that if there were finance questions in public facilities, that we had somebody that could answer them, because sometimes you all like to switch it up a bit, and sometimes I get facilities questions in finance and finance questions in facilities, and that's just fine. But high level, it's a very short story here, but it's a good story. Our Cabot School project came in under budget, and we are essentially using the savings from the Cabot School project to reduce the bond authorization for the Franklin School project, ultimately helping to keep our tax burden down. Now it will be spread out over tens of thousands of tax bills, so it will not be, I don't want anybody who's watching thinking that you will see a sudden drastic reduction in your tax bill, but every little bit helps. So Steve, is there anything you want to add from a financial standpoint?
Sure. This is actually, Josh, this is my first public facilities meeting.
Nice.
So,
Welcome.
thank you. I just wanted to kind of echo what Mr. Morse said. This was somewhat of a timing issue. We bonded, I want to say this was back in 23 maybe. And right at the time of the bonding, it was the last bond issuance before the close of the project. The MSBA reimbursement came in higher than anticipated. Usually we try and match those to what the end of the spending was. This ended up being excess. Fortunately, the MSBA came in higher. That project totaled about 13.7 million in MSBA reimbursements. And then from a kind of mechanical standpoint, because these are debt exclusion bond proceeds, they must be used either to fund another debt exclusion project or amortized over the length of the debt that was issued. So it would be spreading 623 grand across 25 years of bond repayments towards this. So it just makes the most sense to apply it directly to the Franklin project, reduce that bond authorization, which would be 623,000 less that we would be issuing down the road, which means that would be, as Mr. Morse mentioned again, 623,000 less, increasing the tax base, the net tax levy. So the residents would ultimately be paying that much less.
Okay, it looks like Councilor Donovan has a question.
Yes, thank you, Chair Getz, and thank you, COO Morse and Mr. Curley, for being here and for explaining this. There's a reason I'm not on finance committee, and it's because everything that you just said, Mr. Curley, is very impressive and just slightly feels like above my pay grade. But I guess I just wanted to kind of get to the heart of a clarification, which is just, is this money available to be reappropriated because of a series of sort of interesting financial and timing events that you explained, or did Cabot School actually come in under budget by this amount?
Yeah, I believe it came in under budget by more than this amount.
By more than this.
But it was a timing issue where and I forget what our last borrowing, for some reason I want to say 2.2 million or something was our last borrowing. We thought we were going to get X amount in MSBA refunds at that point, which would have covered the difference. We got more than we anticipated. Still came in, I think it was an additional 80 something thousand greater than this was, I believe, what we came in under budget.
Yeah, so it's very high level. It's a great question, Councilor Donovan, and for everybody on the committee and anybody watching. So overall, for all of our large capital projects, we are averaging right now, if you go all the way back over the last 20 years, we're averaging about a 1% contingency utilization rate. That is, from an industry standpoint, amazing. For new construction, typically 5% contingency is what you are given, and it's roughly what is used. For an addition renovation like Cabot, the industry standard is 10%. We finished Cabot with a 1% utilization rate. And what you'll often see on these school projects is we will take savings from the project and we'll do things like the sidewalks and curb cuts in the neighborhood on those safe routes to schools. It's obviously got to have some connection to the school itself because we want to make sure that we're doing right by the taxpayers. But those savings really do help the entire kind of area with respect to how we're supporting the schools in the neighborhood as well. But beyond that, we've turned back tens of millions of dollars through the Public Buildings Department over the last 20 years from a variety of different projects. We have come in under budget nearly straight across the board, with the exception of, we got walloped like everybody else during the pandemic. So the Cooper Center and the Lincoln Elliott School project, while those came in under the approved budget, I can't sit here and say that they are under budget because we had to increase those budgets in response to inflation.
Thank you, CEO Morse. I'm glad you took that opportunity to explain that a little bit, because I actually was mostly asking the question and clarification just so that because I was hoping that was the answer, and I wanted to give you all a commendation to say that I don't know how you keep doing it, that it's impressive to see these projects be run so efficiently and done so well. So thank you for your work making that happen and for making something like this possible.
Pleasure.
And thank you for the education. Wonderful. I'm just loving it. Okay, so do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, any nays? And any abstentions? Okay, so that's our meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And thank you for accommodating, Sunday, the summer schedule. That's the hard part. It's incredible that everybody came. Thank you so much.
I think that's probably the most number of docket items we've done in 47 minutes.
No. No.
Well done.
All right. All right. See you guys. Bye. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Got a little too casual there.